In a quiet little town lived an intelligent, ambitious young man named Ethan. But Ethan had one habit that constantly created problems in his life. He felt an intense, overwhelming need to respond to absolutely everything. If a coworker offered a minor critique, Ethan launched into an immediate defense. If someone threw a casual insult his way, he argued back. And if anyone doubted his goals, he would spend hours laying out exact plans just to prove them wrong. He operated under a rigid rule. In his mind, letting a comment go unchallenged was the same as admitting defeat. He believed that staying silent meant losing. But treating every interaction as a battle doesn't protect your reputation. It just drains your mental energy and guarantees that you will never experience a moment of peace. One afternoon, after another pointless, exhausting argument that went nowhere, Ethan hit his limit. He needed to step away from the friction. He left the dense town behind and walked out toward a vast, empty natural landscape to try and clear his mind. Eventually, he arrived at a remarkably still lake. Sitting on a wooden bench nearby was an elderly man named Samuel. While Ethan was practically vibrating with leftover tension, Samuel was perfectly calm, just watching the water. Before Ethan even explained his situation, Samuel looked over and saw the exhaustion Ethan was trying to hide. He asked, "Why are you carrying so much noise inside your head?" He could see that Ethan's burden wasn't the external arguments, but the internal chaos he allowed them to create. Ethan sat down and let it all out. He unloaded every frustration, every unfair criticism, and the exhausting need to constantly explain himself to people who didn't want to listen. Samuel listened patiently. When Ethan finally finished, Samuel pointed toward the water. This diagram shows the relationship Samuel wanted him to observe: a smooth, flat, horizontal line perfectly mirroring a complex geometric shape above it. The lake reflects the sky with absolute clarity because the water is completely calm. But watch what happens to the reflection. Disturb the water, and the mirrored shape shatters into pieces. The clarity disappears. Samuel explained that the human mind operates on the exact same mechanics. Reacting to every insult or opinion acts like a rock thrown into a pond. External inputs create immediate internal disorder, making it impossible to see things as they really are. Intentional silence works because it allows the mind the space to maintain its focus and accurately process the truth of a situation. Before Ethan left, Samuel gave him a 30-day challenge. When emotions ran high, Ethan was forbidden from responding immediately. He had to pause, observe the situation first, and only speak if his words improved things. A few days later, a coworker unfairly blamed Ethan for a project mistake. Normally, this would trigger an instant, aggressive defense. This time, Ethan bit his tongue and chose to say nothing at all. Because Ethan didn't provide a reaction for the coworker to push against, there was no argument to fuel. Within hours, the actual facts surfaced on their own, and the problem resolved itself without Ethan burning any energy on a fight. A week later, he faced a tougher test. A group of peers openly laughed at his long-term goals and mocked his ambitions. Again, Ethan kept his thoughts to himself and remained completely silent. Time tends to filter out baseless attacks. Months down the road, those same critics had entirely forgotten their own mockery. Ethan, meanwhile, used the energy he conserved from not arguing to actually make progress on the work he cared about. As Ethan continued to choose his moments, the people around him noticed a change. His silence wasn't seen as a lack of words, it was seen as a lack of a need to defend himself. He had learned to separate interactions into categories: opinions that didn't change his reality, petty battles that didn't move him closer to his goals, and attacks that didn't merit his attention. He didn't need to state he was confident. By refusing to let minor slights derail his day, he simply behaved like someone who already knew his own value, and others began to treat him with more weight. In any conflict, the most stable position belongs to the person who feels no pressure to prove their worth to anyone else. Decades later, Ethan found himself sitting on that same wooden bench. Now assuming the mentor role, he began passing Samuel's exact teachings down to a new generation of stressed, overreactive individuals. We live in a world where everyone is fighting for attention, constantly broadcasting their every thought. Against that backdrop, the ability to withhold your words is a rare kind of power. True wisdom lies in choosing your words carefully and picking your battles wisely. By letting go of the need to win every argument, you protect your inner peace above all external validation.